What's up guys, it's Austin with Pickleball Playbook, and today I'm going to be breaking down the technique behind the overhead. I'm also going to be teaching you guys where you should place your overheads so that you can finish off the point a whole lot sooner. So without further ado, let's open the playbook. By the way, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Austin and I'm a 5.5 rated pickleball player. I have also been teaching tennis and pickleball for over 10 years. So let's hop into it, starting with the technique of the overhead. So there are actually 5 techniques behind the overhead. And before we get started, I think that it's really important to help you guys understand and simplify the overhead by just noting that all the overhead is a throw. All that we're doing is just throwing, which is more challenging for others than it is for some, because some people don't have that natural ability to throw. So that's why I'm going to be breaking down these 5 things so that regardless of if you can throw naturally and you're athletic, or maybe you're not the most athletic person, you'll be able to hit an overhead by the end of this video, or at least have the technique to hit an overhead. And then you can go out and practice, because practice equals improvement. So step number 1 with hitting an overhead is actually our footwork. So what the footwork is that we want to make sure that we are running forward and looking backward with our torso. So what I mean by running forward is actually running towards the baseline. So this would be running with our body facing forward, even though it's not towards where the ball is. But if I just run this way, obviously I won't be able to track where the ball is and I won't be able to hit an overhead. So I need to also turn my torso at the same time. And if you watch any of the professionals play, any professionals in pickleball or in tennis, whenever they're going back for an overhead, they're running like this and their head is turned towards where they want to go. Because it doesn't make any sense for our footwork to be like this as we're going back for the overhead. We're going to get back a lot slower and we're probably going to fall. It makes it really difficult when we back pedal to get an overhead as we're looking up. You're going to be a lot quicker if you turn, run forward, and then look backward where that ball is. Step number 2 is referred to as trophy position. What trophy position is this. Okay, so we're getting ready to hit that overhead. And if you've ever played tennis before, the reason that it's called trophy position is because all of the tennis trophies that you receive, they're doing this, which is to signify like the serve in tennis as well as an overhead. And so you'll see them doing this, and you want to mimic that exact behavior. What they're doing with that is they're actually pointing at the ball. This non-dominant arm comes up as well. And that's extremely important. A lot of people will neglect the non-dominant. They're just swinging. The reason that you want to put that non-dominant arm up and point at the ball is because it's going to keep your upper body open and allow you to be able to rotate better through the shot than if it's just down. So if you can see, my rotation is much better and my overall power as I stay up until that very last second and then come through the ball. The biggest mistake that I see all the time with the trophy position is that players will do things out of order. And I don't even know if I can mimic this just because it's so foreign to me, but they'll bend and then, yeah, I can do it. So they'll bend and then, well, maybe I can't. Bend, it's weird. They'll bend first and then they'll go into their trophy position. It needs to be a flow. So you actually want to bend as you're going up. So it's boom. You need to keep that overall flow in your body in order to drive that momentum forward. If you bend and then go up, now you have 0 power. The power is going to come from bending all together and then hitting through that shot. So step number 2, we're getting into that trophy position. And you can kind of treat it like a dance move. Once you get to about shoulder height with your arms, you should be fully bent. So we're here, boom, trophy position, yak that shot. Before I teach you guys steps 3 through 5, I wanted to shout out the sponsor of this video, which is Selkirk. I've been using the Lux Control Air for the past 6 or 7 months now. Absolutely love this paddle. Gives you tons of control, hence the name Control. And it also gives you just tons of spin, which is exactly what I want in my game. So I could not suggest getting this paddle enough to anybody. If you are in need of a paddle, you can use my code ADV-Playbook. I get a little bit of kickback from it, and then you guys also get a free $30 gift card after your purchase. So if you're in need of a paddle, I would strongly suggest checking this one out. I'll link it right here. You guys can click on there, get this paddle, and other than that, enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so step number 3 is the throw and hug, which can kind of sound funny. It doesn't seem like that would actually be a step, but it actually is something that we do after that trophy position, is we're going to throw a ball and then we're going to hug ourselves with our non-dominant arm. And then we relax our non-dominant arm to our side. So you want to hug yourself with this non-dominant arm. That's going to help you to rotate through the shot. Because if you fail to hug yourself, obviously your arm's gonna stay up. You're not gonna get as much power or rotation through the shot. So you need to make sure that this arm comes in, hugs you, and then it's gonna relax to your side just like that. So a great drill to do with this is to throw a ball. After you get in that trophy position, we're gonna bend, get in the trophy position, throw the ball, and then hug ourselves as we come through. Go watch any throwing video of any sport. You'll see that everybody hugs themselves. Watch tennis players serve, because tennis players have been doing overheads for a lot longer than pickleball players have, so they have really, really good technique. And then you can also go watch pickleball pros doing overheads. In general, you'll see that they hug themselves as they come through that shot, but it's really quick because after they've hugged themselves, that arm, they just let it relax to the side. So we're up, bend, and then we hug ourselves, let that arm relax to the side. Step number 3 is something called pronation. So there's supination and pronation. And you don't need to necessarily know the term, but you need to know what your arm needs to do. So with pronation, if my paddle starts like this and I move my thumb towards my body, that's pronation. So now my hand is facing outward, my thumb is down. Supination's the exact opposite. My thumb is now going upward towards the sky. I'm now supinated like this, almost like I'm trying to hit underspin on the ball. When we're hitting an overhead, we don't want to just keep our arm exactly how it is and not pronate through. We want to make sure that we're pronating to bring that ball down. So our paddle should end up like this as we do an overhead. So I'm here and then boom, and that's snapping that wrist down on the ball. Notice how my wrist is neutral here. My wrist isn't actually snapping down, though it can on some shots if I want to get it further down. It's not going to hurt anything, but you don't need that. All that you need to do is make sure that you're pronating through. So thumb is going from up to down as you're hitting through that shot. That's going to allow you to be able to get the ball downward. Fail to do that, and you're probably going to hit the edge of your paddle, I would imagine. I don't know. Or the ball's just not going to come down in general. So you hit, the ball's not going to come down because you're just hitting flat. There's none of that downward motion. So remember to pronate. And that brings us to step number 5. And what step number 5 is the grip that you need to be using. So you can have the exact correct form and do everything correctly, but if you're holding a random grip and you pronate through that shot, it's probably going to go in a random direction. So the grip that you need to be using is continental. And the way that you find continental is you're going to put your paddle on its side. You're going to come down this outside edge here. This is what you're going to refer to as bevel number 1, is this flat part right here. You want to move one bevel over from there, which is bevel number 2, and put your knuckle right there, your index knuckle right here, as well as the bottom of your palm pad right here. So if those two things are lining up, you're now in continental grip. And a lot of people refer to it as hammer grip or handshake grip, but if you just go purely based off of that, everybody's going to end up in a totally random different grip. So what it really comes down to is lining up these two lines on that second bevel from the edge. First bevel, second bevel right here. Line up these two lines and you'll be in continental, which will then, when you pronate, put your paddle directly down towards where you want the ball to go. Whereas if I'm in a different grip and I pronate like this, as you can see, this is like a little bit past Eastern, doesn't matter, grips or whatever, but you can see that if I pronate, when I do that, the ball's just gonna shoot way over there. So having this grip is absolutely pivotal. So just a quick recap, the first thing that we're gonna do is run backwards and look forwards. We get into that trophy position, remembering to bend our legs as we get into trophy position. We're then going to throw as we hug ourselves, and then we pronate as we come over the ball. That's gonna bring the ball downwards, and then just remember that continental grip. If you don't have continental grip, it simply won't work. So that is the technique behind the overhead in a nutshell. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Remember, my entire goal is to help you guys improve your technique. And I know as you apply the things that I taught you today, your technique will massively improve. Also, I just barely uploaded this video right here. In it, I play against the number 31 ranked woman in the world. If you would like to watch that, her name's Avery Beck. She's absolutely awesome. It was a really fun match. You guys can see who wins, and hopefully you guys can learn something from it. All that being said, Playbook closed. If you want to have fun and improve your game at the same time, download the Pickleball Drills app. Regularly uploaded drills to help you feel game-like pressure, all while rapidly improving your consistency. For access, click the top link in the description of this video.